welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy you've taken time and allow us to be part of your day. Moments away, we're going to talk about seed saving. But first, a word from Farmers Defense.
Farm and garden in the ultimate comfort. Farmers Defense has lightweight and durable sleeves made to protect you against the elements while farming. Farmer sleeves offer unparalleled protection of arms and skin for any farmer, gardener, or outdoor worker. Say goodbye to irritated skin and sunburns in the garden. Their sleeves offer cooling, comfort, and protection against the elements outdoors. An alternative to thick clothing, Farmers Defense is made of wicking material with UBF protection factor 50 plus to protect you from allergens and scratches. To find all their great products and more, visit farmersdefense.com.
Yeah, whether you're in the garden, in the yard, in the woods, picking berries, cutting wood, those sleeves make a tremendous difference on keeping your arms from getting all scratched up. And also, you don't have to worry. I don't know if they're certified or whatever they have that, but you don't have to worry about ticks getting in your arm hair for the men because they're pulled up and the ticks will slide right off. So
that's a good point.
Saving seeds. Obviously, if you're not, there's certain seeds that are savable, that are easy to save. Other seeds, it's better and recommended to purchase new, and you can certainly do that at jungseed.com, JUNGSEED.com, and use coupon code 10TG23 to save 10% off your order at jungseed.com. Any coupon codes you hear throughout the program, they're at our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, underneath the Money tab at the top of the page.
So there's some benefits. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to seed saving, but one is that when you save that seed from your own garden, it has over time become acclimated to your ecosystem. So you might think, well, how does that make sense? If I'm in growing zone 5B, then and this seed grows here, wouldn't it just grow the same everywhere else? And that's true, but everybody has their own little ecosystem in their garden.
So whether, if you buy seeds from the south and you try to grow them in the north, they're going to grow, but there's going to be they're going to grow better if they were saved out of your garden or in an area in which was close to your proximity type of mindset. So there's seeds that are easy to save. Let's say sweet corn. In order to save like sweet corn or bush beans or pole beans or hard shell beans, you just let them dry. Let them dry until they're absolutely dry on the vine, and then you can harvest them. If you are saving seeds, here's the caveat. If you are saving seeds, cross-pollination will not be seen in the seeds in which you are saving the current year. If cross-pollination occurs, then those seeds in which you've saved this year will be different next year. There will be a change in them. The peppers or the tomatoes or the corn may not be the same type of shape or uniqueness that the saved seed in which you had on that fruit that you wanted to. If we get time, we'll talk about Peppergate. But there's been a problem with bought peppers in the country. The starts, because there's so few companies that control all the seeds, and there is being what is suspected is a cross-pollination, and people think they're getting a jalapeno, but it's really something between a jalapeno and a scorched bio and a bell pepper, and they're not what they're supposed to be. They're not matching what the label says. Peppergate.
Yeah.
So
so if you save your seeds, you know what they are.
Yeah, but if like for example, cucumbers. If you want to save cucumbers, straight ate or pickling or whatever, if you have more than one variety of cucumbers, it's best to buy fresh seed every year.
Because they cross-pollinate.
Cross-pollinate. Or if you're in a community garden and there's other varieties that other gardeners have, the proximity may be too close, and there's a possibility of cross-pollination.
Right. So you want to make sure your seeds are ripe. Whatever plant you're...
Mature.
Yeah, mature, ripe, fully ripe, not underripe, not overripe. They are to their true maturity. So, overripe probably isn't the worst thing, but you just want to make sure that they're not like...
They're as fully developed as possible.
You don't go out to the garden and save the seed from that zucchini that you forgot to pick. That's like the size of a baseball bat. You save it from the...
Well, you can do that.
I guess you can.
Yeah, because those seeds are going to be absolutely pristine, mature, large, ready to go. Pumpkins, squashes, those things. You'll save those seeds when you harvest them or when you're ready to prepare the food. You can save the seeds there, too. Those are going to be mature.
Right. So things that have pods like radishes, lettuce,
peas,
beans. You can collect those pods, you let them dry, and then once they're dry, you can either just store them as they are, or you can take them out of the pods and then store them, whatever works for you.
Also, always label, because bush beans, there is a difference in the bean itself between a Blue Lake pole bean and a yellow bush bean, but it's just easier to label all the beans and whatever you got, label. All the tomato seeds look the same, all the pepper seeds look the same, corn looks the same for the most part. It just label the things, because at least you know what you got. The easy, watermelon, peppers, squashes are all easy to save. Things that are more difficult to save.
Yeah, so things like tomatoes.
It can be a challenge. How does one save tomato seeds from that one they want to carry on and grow next year, or they want to just save seeds?
So you take whatever tomato you want and you take the seeds out, and they're going to have that gelatinous slime around the seed to protect the seed from whatever. And then you take a old jar or a glass cup, whatever you have that's glass, and then you put just a little bit of water in there, put the seed in there, kind of stir it up. You can put a coffee filter over the top, or an old sock or something kind of porous, and then after a couple days it's going to ferment. And then what you do is, once it does that, you'll kind of be able to smell it. Then you can rinse those seeds with a fine strainer, and then that gelatinous slime will just disappear.
And then you've got your favorite tomato seeds saved, and you can utilize those next year and label them. But yeah, you got to get that slime off. That slime is designed by nature in order, when the fruit falls to the ground, it doesn't germinate right away. It's able to protect itself until the next growing season, or the next, through the winter. So that's an easy one to save. Leeks and onions, brassicas are all biannuals, meaning they're going to put on seeds the next year. Here's the thing with onions. If you have onions that are sprouting right now because you bought sets, or you bought the little bulblets, that's the sets, right?
Sets. Okay, so there's the sets, which are the ones that look like mini dried onions, or like little dried shallots.
Right.
And then there's the
starts,
which look like pencils.
Okay. So if you got seeds, if you got onions that are sprouting in your garden because you planted the bulbs, the little bulblets, those are already thinking it's its second year of growing, because they were grown last fall, went into dormancy, you got them, you planted them, now they are sprouting and going to seed. The disadvantage to saving that seed is you don't quite know the origins of it. The stores, if you're not getting them from an independent garden center, the big box stores sell long day, short day, neutral day onions. If you were in the South, you need short day. If you're in the North, you need long day. If you're through the central portion of the United States, you need neutral day. If you're trying to grow one in a different area, they're not going to grow very good. You're going to get tops, but you're not going to get the bulbs. So it's best to start with fresh seeds, or know exactly what type of onion you are growing, and to get the starts next year, and you won't have that seed production on the onions. If you leave onions in which you started from seed this year alone and let them grow again next year, then they will produce seeds and you can save them. Leeks are the same way. Kale's the same way. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of these things are the same way. You can save the seeds next year. Carrots are a biannual. Lettuce and spinach are very easy ones to save seeds.
They're very easy, because if when summer comes, when summer essentially comes, true summer, then they put out a seed pod, and you just take those seed pods, let them dry out, and most of the time you can just shake them into like a paper bag, and the seeds will fall off.
Yeah, and we've got several videos on our parent website, the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com. Just in the search bar, just put it seed saving, and we go over a number of different applications on saving seeds in the fall and the spring, for that matter. There's ways to save seeds. Parsnips, rutabagas, turnips are all biannual. Leave them alone this year, and they'll produce seed next year. So there is advantages to saving seeds. There are disadvantages to saving seeds, because you might not have good seed that you save.
Right, that's true. Or you might forget to label them, and then you don't know if it's a hot pepper or a mild pepper or a cherry tomato or a slicing tomato. And that's a problem, obviously. So you want to make sure, if you are going to start saving seeds, you want to label them properly, and you want to kind of have a plan, a seed saving plan in a way, and not just be all chaotic about it. You can also save many flower seeds. That's what a lot of people do. I know some people who will kind of forage or like urban forage. Well, if there's some flowers that they know that they can save the seeds from, maybe walking along the sidewalk, they will. And I'm not talking about plucking them out of people's yard. I'm talking about
in common area.
Yeah, in a common area. They might take one or two flowers to save the seeds.
Pluck them out of people's yards. Do it at night when nobody can see them.
Yeah. So follow us for more terrible tips as how to get the neighbors to be mad at you. Yeah. So you just want to be aware that if you are saving seeds, that you need to have a plan and to.
Now, let's talk about once we've saved these seeds, once they are dry, once you have labeled them and they're to the potential of, okay, I've saved the tomatoes, I've done that, I've done beans, what is the proper way in which we can store them for overwinter storage?
Definitely don't store them like if you have a very high moisture area of your house that always seems to be like maybe like a really wet, leaky basement. Don't put them there. You want them to be in a dry, ideally cool area. If it gets warm, it gets warm, but you want to make sure they're dry. Some people store their seeds in the fridge.
Right. Yeah. And they put them in mason jars, put them in the crisper in the back of the fridge, and puts them in a dormancy stage, and they're good to go.
Maybe you don't want to put them in your fridge. You could take something even like an old cooler, and that way they'll have some insulation around them, and put that somewhere.
Just an envelope is what you want to put these in. You don't have anything special.
Right.
I would avoid putting them in like a Ziploc bag because the seeds need to breathe. Unless you're going to just, give the seeds to somebody and they're going to plant them in a couple of weeks. Over the winter, seeds need to breathe. So using a paper or envelope or manila folder is going to be best because maybe you don't have one completely dry, or if you completely dry, this will give that opportunity to kind of get a little more.
And that's a good point because nobody really sells seeds in Ziploc bags.
Right.
Usually when you go to the garden center or when you order online from like Junk
they're wax coated, but it's a paper.
But it's paper.
Right.
Yep.
They all disintegrate when you forget them and leave them in the yard when it rains.
Yeah. There's that too. Maybe have a seed what's the word? Sorting. I don't know. Seed storage.
Uh-huh.
Like we have this thing that is meant to store photos, but we put our seeds in it.
Right. It's from Arts Craft Store, about $16. I think it's got 10 or 12.
I think it's 10.
10 sleeves in her little box. It looks like it looks like a tackle box.
Yeah.
And each little tackle box container, leeks and onions, brassicas, tomatoes. There's 2 tomatoes, peppers, spring greens, flowers. We store them and you label them, and then root crops. You try to organize them. And
sunflower seeds. If you want to save your sunflower seeds, you generally want to get them before the squirrels do.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the birds. All of these things, if you're going to put them in a bag to get them to dry, paper bag is because the plastic's going to mold. Japanese beetles that are flying around your yard and doing havoc in your garden, those various weevils, beetles, and borers, those Japanese beetles, they're not your friend.
No. So what better way to prevent these pests from destroying your garden than by controlling them while they are larvae? Grub Gone is an easy to apply granule product that can be spread on your turf to successfully control grub invaders. Developed by Phylum Bioproducts from a naturally occurring bacteria, Grub Gone is a non-chemical BT product that specifically targets only certain scarab pests, and it's safe to use around bees and other beneficial insects.
If you already have the beetles flying around, some of you do, some of you don't, some of you got a few of them. Beetle Gone is an organic water dispersible powder that you can spray directly on your edible plants. Find out more at phyllombioproducts.com. That's PHYLLOM bioproducts.com.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.